because you know he knows that as soon as it goes out and a Starship goes in, he cannot like deal with any of that, unfortunately for him. But that is not a strat, as I said. Like this is just a joke. I'm not sure what is he expecting there. Like how does he want to actually outvalue Kil'jaeden and plus like another Headless Horseman with another pumpkin, right? Hello. Welcome to the stream. Have you ever seen or even thought of the combo? Oh my bro. Who else would try it if not me, right? I'm showing it one time. That is how you win games right now. How are you doing there? This dude will have nightmares today. That was not even close, right? Top 100. So today we're playing this deck, which is a new edition of a Starship DK. We played with this specific list like before. I'm thinking about like to actually what to change, what to do better. But I think I'm just like in the game for now. So I need to like, you know, to run through it through like, you know, the forge of a couple more games to actually understand specifically like what the cards can actually like, you know, be substituted for. Like for example, if you need like to substitute one Orbital Moon for some kind of like extra value or some kind of like extra to like an action of Yore. But as far as this, like the list is really strong, does pretty well so far as I saw on other like you know people's performance so far. They usually run a little different decks, but like you know as far as it is, like we need to understand if this deck can do any better. Like against for example an aggro, do any better against like any other thing. We might just like you know consider adding like something like a strats, and so far like you know we have to understand like what cards can be substituted to actually dance around a little more with whatever like choices we pick. One of those choices is Nightmare Lock Service. I kind of think that made the deck stronger overall, considering that we actually can you know discover a minion from our deck with a Dark Gift. So you know let's jump right in. Versus a Demon Hunter, interesting. Demon Hunters these days is actually really strong against specifically Death Knights. Because there's probably like a Cleave Dive Demon Hunter right now, right there. As far as I saw, there is a more prevalent like DH tag. The Menagerie is still there, obviously, but now let's see what we get it. Like what we get with them. I would love to Brittlebone Buccaneer to actually survive here, but I'm not sure that is even possible for us, unfortunately. Not sure though. Might have a removal here. But we have to risk it. Like this can be an instant game over at some point if this survives. So. And if this survives for 2 turns, I would say that is almost 100% game over so far. Because all we need right now is kind of like what a figure, right? If you top deck a figure at some point of the game while we're still playing like Soulbound Spires and like all of those Soulbound Spires get a reborn for us to get an early presence, I'm not sure like he can come back on that point. We can just like summon a Starship and do an Orbital Moon on it, and that's it. Claws, attacks. Well, obviously, so obviously he discovers a removal here, because why not? Casually like that. Well, at least he skipped a turn, right? At least it happened for him. Let's do a Soulbound Spire here, just like to get on the board, get a little presence out there. Okay. Oh my. Got a 4-drop already. Well. Let's do another one. We have an Arkonite Defense Crystal Raptor, so we're fine. Let's see what's up. Unfortunate discover for him of a removal here actually messed up our games so much. Because he didn't have like a removal after. He just had a hog, so it would survive. And an Arkonite Defense Crystal would just like solve things out here. As unfortunate as it is. Well, we risked it and didn't get lucky though, unfortunately. Your power just for the sake of win, some damage into our face, okay. So now we need what, like an Exodar here? Hopefully. Brittlebone and an Exodar. Have Chillfallen here. To cycle through the deck a little better. Obviously a 5-drop, because why not? Like have the perfect curve out there. And a drawn. Well, it looks really bad for us so far. Looks like extremely bad, you know. Wild Pyro. Okay, drawn. Oh, here's a Guardian Figure for us. You can, well, at least something that like that happens. You can do a coin. I'm not sure I want it though. No, not sure. Here's a Clave die, okay. Oh my god. Nice. This game sometimes. Give me chills. How much can you hire all? Hello, Pine. Well, Pine. That's Death Knight, okay. Depends on what kind of like Death Knight we're facing, right? Getting figures obviously something that we keep. Everything else is out. Brittlebone Buccaneer for us. Nightmare Lord Xavius. Well, for now it's kind of like one turn 2, but what about turn 3? Like we need something to actually like play out here. Hopefully, not to use a hero power in turn 3, like a pity one, because we're not playing a Buccaneer like on an empty board without anything so far to actually like prolong the game.
Eyes on the horizon.
But he does, right? But he does. But he does play it like this. What do I want for a 2-drop though? Dreadhound? Okay. Sweet. They're red just like for sake of it. We don't really have any kind of board clears. If we get even Kil'jaeden out, we'll just like die from 7/7 bunny on the board. I think. I'll just die from a 7/7 body on the board.
I'm thinking.
Let's minimize the damage here. If he has Starship pieces, he has it, right? And I guess that it should be a Starship, so... Unfortunately. Fortunately, that has to be a Starship. Let's just draw a card here, like this. Cost still less. Oh my god. Well, let's go with kind of like a protected Brittlebone Buccaneer here. Well, we have kind of like a turn after, right? But he has a lot of small minions. Have nothing to deal with them. Nothing to do with them. Use trades, draw like crazy, and all that good stuff. Deals a lot of damage. We need to find a way to actually get a corpse explosion or something. I think we have to start drawing here. Brittlebone plus the Soulbound Spire is actually really strong, but we have to start drawing probably. But we also need to actually get on the board. That's important, so I guess let's go, right? Let's risk it a little. Let's risk it a little. Maybe next turn, like a Sanguine Infestation plus like something will work out for us. We need, you know, corpses. We need a corpse explosion. We need a lot of good stuff, just like to clear all of that madness zone. Oh, that is a hand buff. Interesting. So that is why you have like weird minions like this. Okay, like a Draghound. Well, Draghound, like usually where you can see it is probably like a triple blood. Yeah. And a hand buff, but like I didn't see a hand buff for quite a while though here. So you're all in a 50-50 here? That is a huge mistake though. My, and he actually succeeds to roll it out, oh my god. And he actually succeeds to roll that. Exodar is here. Do we actually go for Wonder Rat just like to stall the madness here? I guess we should. Okay, let's go. Let's see if we can somehow like actually handle that stuff. Well, I minimize the damage here, unfortunately. His hand is kind of buffed here. We need to play an Arkonite Defense Crystal, and we need to top deck Orbital Moon, I would say. Something like this. For a good turn with an Exodar. Or at least like a Morbid Swarm, man. Something that actually activates the spell burst out there. Next turn is like an Arkonite Defense Crystal. And guess with a Brittlebone Buccaneer here. Because we need a couple of copies there. But still, as I said, like we have 2 cards to actually draw something like of a 1-drop. We have 4 cards out there, 4 out of 18. We have 2 turns to draw any of those. Maybe 3 if we top deck something like a Corpse Explosion. Or like a Wild Pyromancer into Poison Press. It could be fine. Blood tap, obviously, okay. Well, Quillbore will go off at some point. Okay. There's a puppet. Okay. A 4/4 is a nice roll though. Kil'jaeden for us. 0 use, 0 use. He'll pop that off. I don't really want to buff his board like too much. I think our turn here is to pass, not to attack any of those. We have to, like, you know, wait as long as possible here with all of those buffs for him in his hand. We are struggling yet to even deal with that kind of board. Like a Brittlebone Buccaneer is there on a board since turn 1. This is 0 anything for us. We need like a Morbid Swarm, like at least, to actually reach it out. Still have a roll for one cost spell here, because we need it. Cannot like summon Prime. But I guess at some point that might actually be something that we should do. Maybe an Exodar into pieces is fine here too, by the way. Exodar into pieces might be fine. Because we have a Brittlebone here. I'll just like summon another Arkonite Defense Crystal and hope for it to fold actually on the board. Should be fine. He locks himself out, interesting. Tries to kill a Brittlebone here, okay. That's nice. Finally it's done. 9/9 rush, okay. Oh, he killed our Brittlebone, unfortunately. Oh, it's a turn to you. Oh my god, okay, fine. Finally. Something, right? Finally something. Let's try to roll a 1/1. 1/1 hit here. Oh, 2/1 hit here is better. I had to attack another one. Okay, fine. Let's go for the pieces anyway, right? Let's go for the pieces here anyway. And what do we want? 4 damage? Somewhere like this. Oh, somewhere like this, I would say. Because if we find like an 8-8 rush here, we'll just like kill it anyway. Oh, that is fine. That is kind of fine. That's a full board clear, as good as it gets for us. Don't really have any more Brittlebone Buccaneers, unfortunately, because we try to actually survive in this game at some point. We'll see if there is another. How it says, he has a huge Quillborn, like, don't get me wrong, huge one. Even a couple, right? He might have a lot of taunts and stuff, like the summon copy. All of that good stuff that actually hand buff is, you know, is proud of. Let's see what's up. Well, considering like how you know, kind of like complex here for anyone to actually find also board clears, like mass clears out there. Hand buff might actually be on the blast a little, but I'm not sure it actually stands against some kind of like a Zarimi ODK and all that good stuff, like an imbue that actually summon a lot of huge minions like early enough. Not sure. And goes for even more buffs, okay. Oh, here's an Morbid Swarm, okay. That's pretty sweet. And a mermaid, so that's kind of like a menagerie too. Interesting. Oh, poison breath, but don't really have wild pyro. Don't really have wild pyro. We need to roll, right? We need to roll. Guiding figure for us. To summon even more. Summon even more. Let's do something like this for now. We'll summon 2, right? Yeah, so we are kind of like good to go here. We can just like do that. Yeah, not really. We don't really have enough space, man. We have to get this killed. Where's this killed? We'll summon 2 and 2, so we need like room for a little more. Something like this. In such case, we do this, we do this, and do this. I would say that is not good enough, but you know, who am I? 10 cards, unfortunately. Got to do something like this. Something like this. Didn't get a reborn for me, but that's fine. Still have like all of those Starship pieces. The only problem with us actually playing Orbital Moon here is that we don't really have one. Oh, that's pretty sweet. I'm not sure if he can actually deal with starships if we get one of those from him. That could be a huge card roll here, obviously. Poison Brass, nice. Oh, that's a pretty sweet combo though. That's a pretty sweet combo though. Well, we'll get a full board now. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. 22 corpses here. Oh my god. 12 here. Not sure how it says. But we have a poison breath here, just to remove. That's pretty sweet.
Let me think a second.
That's pretty sweet. Let's see what we get from here. Unfortunate. Yet again. Let's kill one. Let's do a couple of spires. Something like this should work for us. Okay, that was a pretty good top deck zone. But he still has a lot of steam in his hand. Not sure we can actually handle that. But we'll see, I guess. How it says, I'm not sure he has one, by the way, in his deck. He should concentrate solely on, like, you know, buffing the minions and playing them as early as possible. Not sure if he gets that.
Eyes on the horizon.
Not a Brittlebone, okay. Well, we need cards, bro. We need cards. No problem here. Here's a guiding figure for us, by the way. Now we need a small spell, right? Small spell. Let's try her, okay. Well, that's not too strong. His pool of cards that were actually buffed is kind of limited here, right? But he'll buff a little more with an amateur, okay. He'll buff a little more with an amateur here. Okay, fine. Destroys one. Toy Nation was out of buff, okay.
Talk, little Death Knight.
TikTok. Little Death Knight, well, here's a small spell for us, right? If we need one. So what do we do here? Something like this is fine. Let's draw. Let's kill probably this guy. We can actually try to direct that stuff. Something like strong, right? Direct something strong here. Or we can just like play and that's it. Direct something strong. Well, the whole board is filled. I kind of want to like, you know, as heaviest piece on the board that is possible. But let's probably do that. Let's probably do that. Do something like this. And pass. Five cards left in his deck. Interesting. Well, he drew a lot of them. His Brittlebone Buccaneers are now out. Amateurs are now out too. Well, something is really strong out there. You know, I guess that's another Quill Board or something. Might be wrong. We need more cards from him, no problem. There's a Wild Pyro with a Poison Brass for us, okay. Interesting enough. What does that point do? It's kind of like a really cool mirror. I didn't like have the chance to actually play against a hand buff before. It's kind of cool how the match plays out. Spell burst, plus a tone, okay. Toy Nation guys at 14. Alright. He has an Rubian right somewhere to summon some copies here. Okay, I didn't have enough time here. I was thinking 14, what I should say. Okay, we need a Headless Horseman here, I can guess, you know. We still probably need a red here. That's pretty sweet. Well, we need to play out a guiding figure at some point anyway. Let's do something like this. 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 And 8 cards. Oh my, that's a guardian one. Okay, that's pretty sweet. So we're emptying the board here because we are kind of like, you know, a little ahead here. But a Quillbore is kind of huge, right? It's still kind of huge. He still has something like Poison Breath out there. I guess he's saving it for another Starship if we get a chance here. But now we have a like much bigger Starship zone. And we have one called Spell finally. So we're good to go. We can actually like do a Wild Pyro, Poison Breath, Summon, and a Morbid Swarm. It looks solid for me. It helps us to... Oh my, greatest partner. Nice. That's sweet. I hope you want Oricades here, right? Oh, here's another Soulbound Spire. That's convenient. That's convenient.
Talk, little death knight.
Tick tock. Tick tock. Ancient of Yore is somewhere in our deck team. Headless Horseman. I mean, Horseman's Head is in our deck too. So two pretty interesting cards out there. Morbid Swarm, barely buffed, okay. Has some really buffed cards out there. I'm not sure what those are. As I said, I guess that is a like, you know, I guess that is a Quillbore, but I guess let's draw. Or do we like clear this one, this board? We have only one Poison Breath here, unfortunately. We can even do, like, you know, a Corpse Explosion, like Zero Cares on the wall, though. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Let's do another Spire here. 3 damage. Let's see what happens.
My resources dwindle.
Okay. We still have a couple of board clears for his huge minions. I'm not sure if he can actually go off. But he might not have the mana and might just, you know, apply just enough pressure for us to, like, you know, to get nervous a little and just like summon something like this. Why do you have a late game? You still have a Kil'jaeden or something? I'm not sure. Maybe he was actually waiting for that. Oh my, that's pretty sweet. Maybe he was actually waiting for it. For Headless Horseman. If he has a Kil'jaeden in his hand, he might have a chance to actually go into a late game with that. That's pretty sweet. Oh my, second hero power game. Kinda lucky a little. Kinda lucky a little. We need to, like, you know, scroll through our deck as fast as possible here. Okay, now, if he has a Kil'jaeden, like, I guess be my guess, right? Finally. Here's an Orbital Moon. Okay. Let me see a Kil'jaeden, bro. How do you want to win this game? Let me see a Kil'jaeden here. Because if you don't really have a Kil'jaeden, I'm not sure, like, what are you doing still in this game. Because I will have, like, he knows for sure that I will have a Kil'jaeden here in this game zone. Blood tap. Doesn't play a Kil'jaeden, interesting. Just buffs as much as possible wherever resources are left for him. And 10-11 duty. Okay. That's it. Oh. 10-11 duty. I'll have to play a Kil'jaeden anyway. Like, this is not a threat for us. Like, this is not a threat for us. The more minions we have on the board, the better. In his face. Needs to play Quillbore now. Whatever size it is. He needs to play Quillbore. Because otherwise, like, you know, it will just, like, only worse for him. But I guess he's like, you know, holding for it. Like for dear life out there. This is just a joke. Mutating life one, okay. Nice. So what do we do here? How do we, you know, help ourselves out? Like, we need to start an Arkonite defense crystal here, I guess. I think. We need to attack this. Probably need to attack his face here. Chillfallen, that is pretty sweet, but this is a little better for me. Just a taunt, like simply a taunt here. So that he never hits our face yet again. If that is all you have, like, you know, it shouldn't be enough. You can actually summon, I think. To bait out a Kil'jaeden? I'm not sure. Like, it has all of those, like, minions. Not sure. Well, we can just play demons, and he doesn't play any of those, so, like, we can feel ourselves fine here. Still have a corpse explosion here. We just, like, have to understand that we cannot, like, go too low, right? Because a Quill Boar will be something like a third damage or something. Okay. Okay. Let's just summon as many minions as, you know, is needed out there. And let's probably destroy this dude. Because it's getting annoying. And that's it. He's facing a fatigue damage, he has to go off at some point. Where's the second star for us? What happened with that? Did we not have enough room? Interesting. Slight misplay, right? But we're never emptying a hand here in this game, in this matchup, like anyway. Finally, Toast Nation guys, okay.
Nothing gets
Travel security, fine. Oh, hello, sir. Well, that is, you know, that's something. Six duty, 6/6 duty. Do we play at Sis here? Just like, you know, to help him feel comfortable here a little. Maybe Corpse Explosion is just like good enough. I guess it's it. A 9/9 or after? Fine. I'm convinced. We'll just like kill all those minions he plays out one by one, right? Should be good enough. We're still like, you know, trying to lethal here. Has to do something here. He's never winning a fatigue run. Fatigue will come for you all. Can I munch her? Not too bad. Me. Destroys me, man. Still 0-0 on the board, right? Oh, that's pretty sweet. That's decent. It just spawns a lot of stuff for us. Should be game over. Come on, bro, you have just like a couple of turns left, you know? You have to do something. Show us the goods. You know we have access. You know we have Wild Pyro with a Poison Breath. You know all of that stuff. You can just concede. You know? It's never, never an understatement. Like, you didn't put a Kil'jaeden in your deck, but you put in a Horseman here. I'm not sure. Not sure what you're planning to do with that card. Okay. Morbid Swarm, get another one. Cage's House, okay. MP for us. To trade Black Knight? No. Let him witness. What am I about to do with this guy? Okay, so what is up, my dude? Where is your anything? Where's your anything here? Where's your Quillbore at least with an Orbital Moon or something? No Muncher, okay. Oh, no Muncher is strong. Again, no. Eliza, okay. So he's kind of like still alive, right? Kind of like still alive, though. Starting to get annoying, though. Starting to get annoying. Frostbite and Freeboarder. Fine now. 13, 14 guy, okay. That's pretty sweet. Okay. Let's see what happens, I guess. Only a few cards left for him. I'm not sure what is he expecting there. Like, how does he want to actually outwell you Kil'jaeden plus like another Headless Horseman with another pumpkin, right? This guy sometimes. Well, that was a pretty sweet ride. Well, at least like we had a chance to place a hand buff here. Hand buff was something like, you know, something like a deck I didn't try myself and I didn't actually face at some point. But I know that's kind of like a thing on the ladder right now. So that was pretty sweet. We actually had a chance to play against that. It turned out like you still need a Kil'jaeden in your hand buff, but I guess because you're playing against a lot of controls, right? You still need a Kil'jaeden against like a Death Knight, for example. In a hand buffs, but you're making like your whole deck like in hand much worse with a Kil'jaeden overall. And so as far as it is right now, we tried it out. Like we were able to handle like all of those huge minions that are on the board. He didn't even play like a second Quillbore because he knew it will be just like a raise instantly after. Like the overall game plan of hand buff is kind of like cool if you play against a mid-range control deck, right? It's pretty strong so far. Like we were actually struggling at some point, and he hireled like crazy in the beginning of the game. As you can remember, his Brittlebone Buccaneer was out there like from turn 1, so that was pretty sweet. That we actually were able to outrun that. He killed both of our Brittlebone Buccaneers, like giving us 0 value whatsoever. But yeah, you can you know, you can get high rolled and just like, you know, jump into some like kind of like demon hunters who finish you off on turn 7. You know, you're not secured from that one, even though you have a lot of towns with the reborns. You have a lot of early presence, even with Starship DK. Cleave dive demon hunter is actually something like, you know, we actually struggled a lot against even with the triple blood Death Knights that we played before. So yeah, the overall, like, you know, idea of actually like, you know, facing all of those like mid-range control decks, you will do extremely good against those ones. But when it comes to like really fast decks, like a Cleave dives that can actually high roll you out of this game, that's probably something like you'll struggle against. But I guess when you're facing like high rolls overall within a deck, you might just like, you know, lose on the spot anyway. And they might just like not get like all the perfect cards, all the perfect openings, not a Quillborn turn 4, not like a Fellhound like on turn 5, not like, you know, a Cleave Dive on turn 6, nothing like this might happen, and you might just like win because they just like don't have the resources, and the rest of the deck, if just like that doesn't add up, it just like, you know, doesn't work. So as far as this, we were able to play a couple of extra games with this one to understand like what is better and what is worse. I kind of feel like that you know, having a lot of small spells, that was my concern like before when we played it before. That having 4 small spells is just a little too much. We have a lot of corpses going on like with all of those Soulbound Spires and like all of those cards that actually summon. Morbid Swarm, like a second copy, maybe like an extra. Orbital Moon, a second copy, maybe like an extra. I will think about like what I actually like exclude from here. I think I still need a little more games to understand like which exact one spell is worse there. And maybe add another like, you know, Ancient of Yore to cycle through the deck a little faster or something like this. But as far as this, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoy your souls there. But for now, that is it for BBU Starship DK.